I will now show how to add measurement specifications by using a recipe. Enter full configuration, enter recipes, add a recipe. This is an option you can flip between later on, and will also apply to all of your measurements specifications at the same time. You can't have one as absolute and one as relative. I prefer to have absolute so I can actually type in what my spec limit is in inches, as opposed to tolerances would be if you have plus or minus 5 mils, you would type it in instead, and that would go with your nominal. So here's my absolute limits. I will continue. This is the next window that appears. I will be making a recipe. Type in the name of the recipe. Click Next. These are all the settings that can be inserted into a single recipe. This will all be loaded all together as soon as you select the name that you just named in the last screen. Under specifications, this is where your spec limits are actually going to be defined. Click Add Specification. In this case, I will include the x-axis, y-axis, and xy. I'm going to make my nominal to be 0.86615. My upper spec, my lower spec. If you want them to be symmetric and only have to label the top one, you can click symmetric and it will automatically adjust the bottom one to be symmetric about the nominal. You have the option of adding warning limits and also reasonable limits. Enter a name at the top. This is going to name this actual specification limit that's going to be added to this recipe, as you can have multiple limits added to one recipe. Click OK, and they are in there. Finish. Exit out of the configuration. In order to load the recipe, TotalVu Recipes, and load. Now on this trend chart, just to be able to show that I do have spec limits defined, what I can do is select them here. And then I can also, on the axes, specification limits, and I'm going to bump up the padding. And you can see that this is actually quite accurately at the 0.86615 that I specified. If I move the pin around, you can see the different sides of the pin, as it is only as precise as it is. And then you can also test the position error of your gauge by moving the pin around.